you. And how are you?
I'm actually awesome, and I'm glad to have you today for this particular session on managing resources. I know you for a while. You're actually fantastic in coming up with great ideas to to support teachers across the globe, but also to support your learners in improving their English in the classroom. So Salome, where are you actually connecting from? Can you please tell us?
From Nigeria, River State, Nigeria.
Awesome. Good to know. Now while we wait for Boma to connect, I'm sure she's gonna be here very soon. Let's go over the slides very quickly. Because I know I'll be managing the slides for you. And if you'd like me to move to the next slide, just let me know. Say next.
Yeah. Sure.
And I just sort of move to the next slide. Today we're talking about managing resources. So over to you, Salome. I'll be around. If you need me, just turn off my my video, but you can get started. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and I'm glad to see that so many people have joined. My name is Salome Ikokoyo, and I'm a teacher in Nigeria. So today we'll be looking at how best to manage resources as ELT professionals. I'm doing this session today with Boma Karibo. We both teach in River State. I teach in a public secondary school and a private college of education, and Boma teaches in a polytechnic. So in this section, we'll be looking at resources the ELT professional uses, why it has become imperative to manage these resources well, how we can achieve success with time-allotted tasks, leveraging same profession collaboration, leveraging cross-professional or profession collaboration, organizing print and non-print materials or resources. And then we'll have some time for questions. Next, please. Okay, so what are some resources the ELT professional uses? Can we share our thoughts in the chats? What resources do you have at your disposal as an ELT professional? Would you like to share some so that we can look at them? Textbooks, thank you, from textbooks, posters, videos, worksheets, etc. Thank you very much, Marique. I rely on digital resources quite a lot. Didactic guide, curriculum, audio, videos, online resources. Thank you very much. So next slide, please. Now, what are resources? We've defined resources as anything available in our environment that can be used to fulfill our desire as teachers, or we can use in order to function properly as teachers, given that these materials are technically accessible, economically viable, and culturally appropriate. Thank you. So we have newspapers as well. Thank you very much. So these are resources. So anything within our environment that could help our work, help make our work as teachers easier or better, because our aim as teachers is to help the learners learn. So whatever materials we can find within the environment automatically becomes a resource for us. Can we look at the next slide, please, so that we can see some of the resources we have outlined? Okay, so we have listed quite a number of resources here. The first on our slide is instructional time, student data and assessment. And by instructional time, we mean the time we use in the classroom to teach. There's so much that goes into teaching. Then we also have student data and assessment information. I don't know if it's the same in other contexts, but in Nigeria, as a teacher, especially if you're a form teacher, you need to take down the data. That's name, parents' name, date of birth, and other information from each child in your classroom. And it's usually kept in your custody as the form or class teacher. Then we have the classroom space layout. It's especially for primary schools, it's the responsibility of teachers to put these in order. Thank you very much. I can see lots of comments coming in. Then we have teaching materials like textbooks, supplies, technology, and so on that we have already listed. Personal knowledge of teachers, our skills, our expertise, our collaboration with colleagues, both professional colleagues and non-ELT colleagues, for support staff, classroom management techniques, lesson preparation and assessment, and all of these are what the ELT practitioner uses. So I'm looking at the chart. I have seen number 8, 10, and 14, number 4, number 5, smartphone and personal computer, authentic materials. In South Africa, we do the same. It is kept in your personal file. Very good. 5 and 3, all of the resources mentioned. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your response. So, which do you think is the most important to manage? We'll be talking about this later on. And some of us have told us the ones you use currently. So we'll be moving to the next slide, please. Why has it become imperative to manage these resources well? Boma will be coming in here, please.
So, why has it become imperative for us as teachers to manage these resources well? Next slide, please. You know, as educators, we juggle between different and many activities. You would say just like any other professional, yes? But this is our own town hall meeting. Let's call ourselves to order. And you would see on this slide, you'll see the typical educator. Well, Salome and I chose the woman because we're of the feminine gender. You see the woman, she's there doing her shopping for groceries. She's in the kitchen preparing meals. Then she has to help the kids at home with their homework. And then there she is preparing for class the next day. Next slide, please. So, what is resource management? This is the efficient and effective development of resources when they are needed. That's what Wikipedia tells us. And then we also hear that is the strategic planning, organization, and utilization of all available materials, tools, time, and human assets to optimize learning and achieve objectives efficiently. So whether we want to admit it or not, frustrations are right. We can get really unhappy with ourselves or with our long-term goal of achieving success with our mentees, who are the students or learners. You know, we may or may not be so adept at our skills, but we can arrive at joyful successes. Hence the need for adequate resource management. What would you say is the best way to manage our resources as teachers in order to achieve maximum success? Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, we see that there are different fronts to tackle. There is the office load, the home front, and then one's personal life, family life, all these to handle. Next slide, please. So how can we manage our resources we've been told about to achieve success? Well, we can attempt this. This slide is entitled, How We Can Achieve Success with Time-Allotted Tasks. So you agree, of course, we all know how much we need to have time on our side when we are doing our different tasks. Much more as educators, we so much need time. We so much need to have enough time to finish what we have to do so we can measure our success with the students' level of comprehension of what we have imputed into them, you know. So what do we do in order to achieve success here? Look at the points here. One, that we have to prioritize tasks. This is talking about the, let's look at the Eisenhower matrix to exemplify this, that this matrix says that we should give priority to what is important. For instance, if something is important and it's also urgent, then it needs our urgent attention. We cannot go, we can't give it up to someone else to handle for us. So we handle that one ourselves. But what if something is important, but it's not urgent? Yes, we can let it be for another time. Then there is also a case where something is not important, not so important, but it's really urgent. Someone else can do that for us. We delegate that. There are some tasks that are actually not important and they are not urgent. They can wait. Next slide, please. Then there is the Pomodoro technique of how to manage time. This technique says that we should give tasks definite times. It is a technique that is just a simple method of handling tasks by balancing focus with deliberate breaks. When you confine a task to a particular time, when that time is up, let go. So you find that you are able to, when you keep doing this, you will be able to achieve finishing a particular task within a particular time and then taking a break afterward. So may we go back to the other slide where we have listed out the different things. The one before this, please. Yes. So we have handled 1 and 2. 1, to prioritize tasks by using the Eisenhower matrix we just looked at. And then again, to allot time for each task, like using the Pomodoro technique. And then 3, let's set up reminders for tasks. How can we do this? One way we can do this is when we have, say, a notice board or notice boards on some specific spots in our homes, on walls in our homes. Just bring up notice boards at strategic spots of walls around the home, where you stick up posts that would indicate and remind you of problem areas in the class, say, or of needs of learners, and then of ways to tackle them. When you keep looking at this post, you don't have to sit somewhere at a particular time to be thinking of how to tackle that problem. But when you see this thing indiscriminately anytime, for instance, the wall before you, when you have to ease yourself in the bathroom, you keep seeing this, oh, this needy child. And as you are easing yourself, you're thinking, what do I do to help this child? So you don't particularly wait for a time. You have to think of the solution. You see it all the time. You think of the solution all the time. And that is how you can quickly generate ideas, on how to tackle the situations. So what this helps one to do is to spot on those situations and quickly arrive at solutions for them. Sometimes not when you are even prepared for such solutions. These can help us manage time effectively. The next one is to delegate tasks. We should delegate tasks. We should also batch similar tasks together So we don't have to do, we finished with one. Oh, this other one is quite similar to that. Why did you have to do it at another time? You can batch tasks. That's what we mean by batching tasks, similar tasks together. Then there is putting wait time to good use. Yes, we should know about how we can use wait times. Wait times are those times, there are times between, for instance, you are giving an in-class activity and you're waiting for these children, for instance, perhaps it's a 5-minute exercise. Within that time you are waiting, you can do something. You can do other things, So wait times, there are different times like that. Even in the staff room, you're waiting to go to the classroom. That is a wait time. It can be effectively used. Sometimes we overlook those opportunities, those windows of, times that we can quickly do something, and we could just tuck them away and all that. The next one is using classroom instruction time effectively. Classroom instruction time can be well managed, so that you achieve good goals. For instance, we should learn to avoid repeating and paraphrasing learners' responses. When somebody has said something, a child has said something, and you repeat and you paraphrase and you emphasize, it's waste time. And then again, we can ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions help the learners to quickly comprehend what's going on in class. There is also asking the need to ask facilitative questions that can help to facilitate other responses. Then we should also be able to use questions that will elicit more answers, that will make students want to consider the situation from other angles. Then again, responding to responses in the class, to answers in the class neutrally would really help. You don't say, oh, it is wrong, oh, it is right. You just answer neutrally. Yes, oh, that is a good answer. That answer, as it may be, is pointing to this fact. Why don't you want to look at it from this other angle too? And that could generate more answers and quickly aid comprehension of the lesson. Then again, we should allow students to think quickly and contribute multiple ideas in the classroom. Don't emphasize on one particular area. There may be some learners that are not very fast to understanding and providing answers. Like some that we know in a class, we have different levels of understanding. So we should allow children at their own times and levels to be able to contribute ideas in the classroom. This will enhance fast comprehension of lessons. So these are some of the things we can do in the classroom to manage time effectively so we can achieve our goals quickly. And then again, we should say no sometimes to some responsibilities. We should be able to say no. Yes, I can see somebody is trying to point out something to me. Yes, I didn't get to read that before it went. I wish you would repeat it so I can read it out to everybody's hearing. Okay, that you sometimes say the words, oh, I didn't get that. Sorry about that. So classroom time should be well managed so we can achieve our goals quickly. Yes, I was saying that we should be able to say no sometimes. Yes, say no sometimes. Say no to some responsibilities. When they may be too many you are handling at a particular time, we should be able to say no. It's not irresponsible for somebody to say, oh, sorry, could I be allowed to finish with this first before I take on another one? Saying no sometimes will help us. We don't want to be burnt out, carrying all the burden, all the load all the time. Next slide, please. We've looked at the Pomodoro. Yes. So as educators, we juggle multiple resources daily in our teaching practice. You know, what would you say is what would you say, this slide is telling us, what would you say is the best way to describe the effective manner to resource management? Yes, we have A, using high quality teaching materials and current technology to maximize learning outcomes. B, balancing available resources to meet learners' needs and curriculum goals efficiently. C, implementing strategic time allocation. 2, optimize classroom activities, and so on. So what would you say? Yes, I see some answers here. Which one have you picked? C, implementing strategic time allocation. Oh, okay. B, while your letter says he or she picks B, balancing available. Oh, Nadeza, you say C. Mariana says A. Oh, okay. Thank you for all your answers. Next slide, please. So these are some of the ways we can manage our resources in the classroom. I would like Salome to come in now.
Okay, thank you. So, we'll be looking at leveraging same profession collaboration. Okay, please, next slide. Okay, so as teachers, we spend time preparing teaching materials. If we could collaborate with colleagues.
Sorry, Salome, there seems to be an echo on your side.
Yes.
Is there something you can help? You can do to fix it. If you have a second device, maybe you can turn it off. Thank you.
I don't have a second device on. I'm using just one.
Okay. Now it's good. Now looks fine. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we spend a lot of time preparing teaching materials. For those of us in primary and secondary schools, and even in the tertiary, we spend so much time. Could we collaborate more with colleagues, perhaps sharing lesson notes? I know that sometimes it feels like the other person won't write as well as I have written or things like that. But if we get from our colleagues who have written on the same topic, we could improve on it or maybe make some adjustments on it, and we will spend less time doing that, and then we'll save time for ourselves. Then what about team teaching or co-teaching? This maximizes the use of our strengths. So for instance, my colleague does well teaching grammar. Could I bring this person in to take grammar lessons in my own class? Or could I share technology? For instance, it's very expensive buying technology we use in the classroom. Could I share with others, maybe come together, divide or share the cost of buying the materials, and so it becomes less expensive for one person? How about professional development exchange? It saves time. So when we collaborate with others, we're able to save time on all of this, thereby giving us more time for other things. Are there other ways you can collaborate with your colleagues in the same profession? Would you like to share with us in the chat, please? Yes. Yeah, peer visitation, sure, collaboration is much needed. Peer group teaching with ELT professionals and new ones, yes, collaboration is crucial. Observation, very good, thank you. Soft skills, yes, thank you. micro teaching, love classroom observation. Everyone has different approach and we can learn from one another. Collaboration is important, sharing resources, cascading, peer observation, group exchange with students, share best practices, professional development, sounding boards with others. Okay, thank you very much. All of these are ways we can collaborate with our colleagues and make our work a lot more easier. So for those in the tertiary, I know that we need to write textbooks, we need to contribute chapters. So rather than spending so much time writing plenty books, can we collaborate with others? Can we collaborate with others to write these textbooks? Could we collaborate with others, maybe use their books for our lessons or for our classes? That's another way of saving time for ourselves. Next slide, please. So I want to talk about storing resources online. Very good, thank you. Dembele, we share resources with our colleagues, yes. Another thing we can do that saves us time or that helps us manage resources properly is saving these resources in a Google Drive. Sometimes we come across non-print materials that we would want to use in our class. For instance, sometimes we make photocopies of pictures or we print pictures that we use in our class to perhaps help our learners understand the concept better. Could we store these somewhere so that we could use them later on? Or perhaps we're not using them immediately. Could we keep them somewhere so that when it's time for us to use them, we could easily use these resources? Some of us complain about our phones being full, the storage compartment of our phone is filled. Could we use the Google Drive? So I'm sharing this video about how to store resources online using the Google Drive. It's something that I found beneficial, and I think teachers can also will also find it beneficial. Can we play the video, please?
To create. So I'll give the group a name. Since I used SS1 earlier, I'm using SS2 for this, and then I'm going to create. Now, after creating this group, I'm going to remove the person I added to the group. Okay, because I'm offline. Okay, I'm going to go online now. It's going to bring in plenty images, but so if I'm online, I'm going to remove this person I added to the group, and then I can use the group for myself. I can store whatever I want on that page, and I can easily access them whenever I do. Thank you. Sorry, whenever I need them. This screenshot.
Okay, sorry, it's okay. I'll just explain the other one. This video is storing materials or resources on WhatsApp. Did you know you could create your own group and store materials there? Like the video explained, I have a lot of groups, personal groups, so I just create a group on WhatsApp. And then I name it according to the resources I'm storing there. For instance, resources for SS1. I create a group for SS1 and I store pictures and materials that I think will be necessary for my classes for that particular class. So you can just create such a group. If you don't know how to create a group, you can check the link later on and you watch the video in full. So if I think that this resource will be used for first term SS1, so I create that group and say SS1 first term, and that's for that. So whenever I need to go back to that, I simply go back there. Yes, I saw someone say Telegram is a better Telegram is better used Telegram channels. Yes, Telegram is very good too, because if you have them there, you can always go back. So for WhatsApp, for instance, sometimes you lose your phone and you cannot access the things you have stored on WhatsApp. But for Telegram, as long as you still continue to use that particular phone number, you can always go back there and you would find the materials you stored there. So Telegram is also a good option, just like the Google Drive is also a good option. As long as you can access your email, you can always use it. So for the Google Drive, you can download the Google Drive on Play Store for those who use Android phones. And you can create different folders for each of the materials that you want to use. So for instance, I can say this folder is for grammar, this folder is for listening, this folder is for writing, this folder is for reading, and I store them in different folders. So whenever I'm going to take a lesson on any of this, I simply go straight to that particular folder and I can find what I need for that particular class. So these are ways that we can manage our resources. So year after year, you can always use these resources, and you can also change them. You can find new ones that are better than the ones you have, so you could remove them. That's updating your resources, the resources that you have. Next slide, please.
Short.
Yeah. One of the benefits of sharing lesson plans with colleagues, I have listed 3 here. Number 1, it reduces stress. So if, for instance, I have colleagues that I share lesson notes with, and we maybe exchange lesson notes, or someone prepares them, or we collaborate to prepare them, it reduces stress, it saves a lot of time, and it enhances a teacher's skill. So perhaps the areas that you may not have thought about before, your colleague would think about them for that particular lesson, and you could learn from that particular skill. That's one way to improve our that's one way to manage our resources. The next slide, please. So pooling expertise in a professional group typically results in increased productivity, in enhanced learning, multiple perspectives, enhanced creativity. All of these are the benefits of collaborating with same professionals. I think we'll go to the next slide. Yes, leveraging same cross-profession collaboration. Boma will be taking this slide, please.
Okay, so here we are actually talking about delegating duties. Remember, this is like a town hall meeting we are having. This is like our town hall meeting on such an event as this. We are celebrating ourselves. We want to really talk to ourselves, call ourselves to order. So we need to delegate duties. When you have to do data assessment, of scores or type or photocopy and such things, your questions, you need to have different sheets for your class work for students. Use the admin support. Administrative staff is there to help you do that work. Do not get burnt out. For IT work, tech staff can help you with that. Is it to compute scores and all that? Be very willing to give them, what they can do for you. So they handle that for you and take off the task and take off the heat from you. What about a child being sick in class and you want to go, no. Send that child to the school clinic, to the nurse, or to the wellness, or say a child needs counseling. Send that child to the counseling unit. Do not take everything on your own self. Then there is a point about collaborating with lower cadre professionals. We would call them paraprofessionals. This is very important. These people, you may think, oh, they are so low. What do they know? No. do you know, it is quite helpful to collaborate with paraprofessionals because they seem to engage learners on a more personal basis. And so they easily discover learners' strengths, weaknesses, and learning styles. You know, the teacher can be seen by some learners as the boss that may not be approachable. But the paraprofessionals, they are like at the learner's level. They want to, you know, learners want to talk with them, want to expose themselves to them, their weaknesses. Oh, Auntie, I didn't really understand what the teacher was saying, you know, and they can handle all those things, help the child and re-emphasize a point that had been taught in class and all that. So teachers should, what am I trying to say here? Teachers should actively acknowledge, respect, and interact with these people. Solicit and reckon with their help. Solicit for their help and reckon with their help and be grateful for that help. And you see, they will even feel, you know, they will be more, they will even feel better helping more next time. So paraprofessionals is the thing. Collaborate very well with them and you will enjoy your classes. You will manage, you'll be able to achieve great results in quicker times. Next slide, please. Yes, you would want to say, what about all this personal stuff? What's the slide telling me? Well, personal unwinding sessions, very important. They're very important for the teacher. Number one, mental well-being. Number two, physical well-being. Mental well-being and physical well-being can be collapsed into one, you know, because activities of the mind affect the body and vice versa. So the two can be collapsed into what I would call me sessions. Having me sessions. Yes. The me session is an unwinding moment for the teacher when self-care is the focus. Deliberate attempts should be made by the teacher to let off strain and stress from the day's activities or from the week's activities. A session combination of taking, you know, say one's favorite drink while musing on happy thoughts. I say again, happy thoughts, muse on happy thoughts, or have happy conversations of past successes, which, you know, tend to massage your ego and abilities. And physically, again, you can even massage your temples at the same time. Massage the temples of your face and then the fingers of your hand, you know. Also have times when you can steam up your legs and feet in warm water. Massage them, smooth some oil over them and massage them. They tend to help you feel good. Pay particular attention when you're doing that to the soles of the feet, underneath the toes, the arcs and the balls of the soles, you know. I tell you, such a session is bound to give a boost to your mental and physical capabilities. And you so need them to continue the good work of mentorship you're doing. You know, mentorship is the thing we are doing as teachers. It is the core. It is at the core of the teacher's role in the classroom. That's what we are doing. Next slide, please. Okay, I will hand over this session to Salome.
Okay, thank you. We've talked about organizing non-print materials, so I'm going to move to the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about organization of print materials. And earlier we've mentioned some of them, newspapers, textbooks, etc., etc. So can we categorize this by skill area, for instance? So this material will be good for when I'm teaching a listening lesson, when I'm teaching a writing lesson, and then we can store this in different places. So we could also use color-coded folders or holders. So perhaps for my speaking skill, I could decide to use yellow, and for my writing skill, I could decide to use red or white, depending. And then we could develop a spreadsheet or a database for tracking all our resources. So this helps us know where to find materials easily. So we don't spend so much time looking for where we kept this particular resource that we'll be using for this class. We should ensure that stored materials are easily retrievable. So if we keep them on our tables at work or in school, this color-coded method will make it easier to be able to retrieve them whenever we need them. Then we could create backup copies of important resources so we don't need to look for them again. Then regular maintenance, we should schedule periodic reviews to update or discard outdated materials. So doing this will make us up to date and to make it easier for us to be able to assess our materials. We know when this is no longer in use or this is no longer okay to use and so on. So that helps us to manage our resources. In summary, we've talked about how to manage our resources better. We've looked at the resources we have available to us as ELT practitioners. We've looked at collaborating. We've looked at what development is. We've looked at collaborating with our colleagues in the same profession. We've looked at collaborating with people from other professions. We've also looked at managing time effectively to prioritize is very important and it is urgent. It's considered important. And if this task is considered is important, but not very urgent, we could delegate. Or if it's not something that needs our attention, then we could delegate to others. So I think it's time for us to take some questions. Boma will be taking that part. Next slide, please.
Yes, truly it is our delight to talk on this topic, on this event of our celebration as teachers. So in conclusion, I'd like to ask, could you use any of the ideas discussed today? Could you? Are you in agreement with some of them, all of them, none of them, none of them? Well, unwinding, Ogunka says unwinding. Oh, you agree with unwinding? What challenges might you encounter? Would you want to think about the challenges you think in any of these? Yes, organization. I'm trying to read some of your answers here. Yes. Yes to what? Erin Morrison says yes. Yes to what? Okay, time management. Oh, okay, yes. You agree with time management. Oh, yes. Shita says they are very useful tips. Oh, great. Good to know so. It's challenging to communicate and collaborate. Oh, would it be? Oh, I think a lot has to do with attitudes. Attitudes, you know, showing respect to everybody will, will get us the good collaboration we desire or we would demand. Respecting people, and soliciting their help, going all out to actually solicit their help. They might think, oh, it could be intrusive to do this or that. But if you actually ask for the help, I think you will get it. Collaboration should be easy. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can let your responses keep coming. So our next slide is we are trying to find out if you have ever used any other method in managing your resources, apart from what we have talked about today. Please share with us here. And then, have there been impact of such approaches you have had before? Yes. Oh, you have been managing time and storing data. Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you for that contribution. Any more? Oh, okay. So we'll wrap it up here. we'll wrap it up here. Salome and I are truly grateful to you for your time and your attention. Thank you so much and enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your time, enjoy your celebration. Kudos to teachers. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thanks to the both of you. I think you've actually shared some actually very, very fantastic ideas about, I think what it comes down to is how to actually manage your your whole profession, from whether it's inside the classroom, outside the classroom, how you can manage your time. I think that's actually critical as well, because it's actually opening um, um, the idea about how teachers can actually manage their well-being and think about themselves, as part of the teaching profession. So, I've got two questions. I think I'll start with Salome. Salome, you've shared a variety of resources that teachers can actually use. Can you tell us your what are your top five? The top five resources that you like to use?
Okay. First is time. Number two is I use a lot of digital resources. I use textbooks. I collaborate a lot. With same professionals, same ELT professionals and others. Most of my administrative tasks, I don't do them myself. So I don't type my questions, I give them out. And my lesson notes as well, I don't type my lesson notes, I give them out for people to type. And sometimes I have to pay. Sometimes I have to pay for these things to be done, but it saves me a lot of time. So I can have some time to rest. I can have time to do other things. Like I teach in a public school. I also teach part-time in a private school. So if I do all the work myself, I don't know how I'll look by now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And now, Boma, you've actually shared some interesting and ideas, and I've seen people actually saying that they love what you've shared so far. Maybe can you say a little bit more about how teachers can actually better manage themselves, like personal sort of hygiene, and then health, and overall health management to to really perform at their best.
Yes, to let off steam after a day's work, I mean, it can be really frustrating. You were taught, sometimes they will tell you, the students will tell you, oh, after a whole class, they will say, Ma, we didn't understand. And you go all over again, explaining a particular procedure and all that. So when you get home, you would want to unwind. Please do so. You owe yourself that. Let out steam. Soak your feet in warm water. Yes. Put some soap that you like the smell of, and just relax like that. And then massage the feet, under the feet, the axe, the balls, under the toes. Give yourself that luxury, and you will see you feel so good. And then think about your past successes. There are times there were times you succeeded with some students, with some procedures, with some situations. Think about them and be proud of yourself, and congratulate yourself on those, for those times. Be happy and prepare your mind for the next day's class. It's very important. And then teachers like to take a lot of time to think about what they would do, how they would handle this matter. Who am I? Is it that I'm not able to do this? Or is it that forget your incapacitations? That's why we said put up notice boards where you would have these problems looking at you from, at different times. And as you look at them, as they are spot ons, you will find that somehow the solutions will be springing up in your mind just when you least imagine, at times that you never thought you would have the solutions. So these are some of the things we can do to help our mind and help our well-being, And teachers like to repeat and paraphrase learners' responses in class, wasting too much precious time. We should see how we can stop doing that. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. And there's a question actually in the chat, because I guess after what was covered today, some of the participants actually, they're curious about their free time now and how they can best how they can better manage it. So the question is, how could they avoid planning lessons during their free time? Do you have any idea how they can go about that?
Okay, it's difficult not to plan your lessons. I think it's actually impossible for a teacher not to plan their lessons. So even when you collaborate with colleagues, you still have to go through whatever you're going to use in your class. So it's impossible not to plan your lessons. Even when you get the notes from others, you have to look through it. You have to see how it fits into your context and all that. So you still plan your lesson, but that you're not the one actually doing the writing. Someone has done the writing for you. So all you need to do is look at how it fits into your context, take some things out, add some things so that it suits your learners better. But you didn't spend that time doing it. So that's one way to manage your resources. And then wait time. Like teachers, we like to talk, we like to gist. In Nigeria, we call it gisting. So when you sit in the staff room and you're not gisting with your colleague, it looks like you're too serious, or you're taking this job too seriously or something. No, it's not like you're not going to gist. It's not like you're not going to converse with your colleagues, but you don't spend so much time doing that. You can spend that time looking at your lesson, especially maybe you have a next class. For some of us who have classes that run, one after the other like that, you don't even have the time to sit in the staff room and converse with people. But when you do have that time, you could use it to plan the next class. Okay, what about those questions your learner asked that you haven't really attended to? Could you spend a few minutes thinking about the answers to those questions? Could you think about an activity that will help them better understand? Could you think of a picture that you could use to help them better grasp this point? And recently I learned using the flipped classroom. I think it's awesome. It's awesome, but it makes you teachers sit up. It makes keeps you on your toes at all times. You're thinking about which video is going to work for this particular lesson, and you share it beforehand. So we spend a lot of time preparing for these lessons. Let's not spend too much time doing activities that will not be helpful to us. So that's just what I think.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And there's another question actually for both of you. I'm not sure who want to go first. We only have 2 minutes, but if you can actually, say a little bit about, based on your experience, how do you preserve your voice during classes without sacrificing the quality of learners' understanding?
Wow.
Okay.
Salome, say something and then I'll come in later. Or should I talk first?
Okay, anyone, you go first.
Okay. I like to stay in the middle of the class, and then I just rotate about the class, saying and ensuring they all look at my mouth. And as they are looking at my face and at my mouth, they will hear me. I go around the class and I speak to them, to their listening. I engage their listening. And I think I achieve good results with that. Salome, go on.
Okay, yes, that's one very good tip that I use. I move around the class, and then sometimes I tell them, today I'm not using the teacher's voice, so you have to strain your ears to hear me properly. And that makes them listen, and if there are any outside distractions, if there are people by the window who are making noise, I make them leave so they can hear me properly.
Great, awesome. Thanks so much. I think we are sadly at the end of this session, but I was excited actually to be here, because this session is actually the perfect example of how teachers can work together, to kind of deliver high quality content, whether it's a webinar, whether it's resources for the classroom. And unfortunately, I would have loved that we could, to cover the financial aspect of this, of this collaboration, but we'll have to move to the following session. So thank you very much, Salome. Thank you, Boma. Thank you for everyone who was here on Zoom with your beautiful comments. And thank you for everyone who is watching us live on Facebook. So we're back in 15 minutes with a webinar about using movies to practice speaking in class. So bye for now, and I'll see you in the next session.